Ooh, what's up, everybody? And we're back on the Ford Transit 2016 2.5 passenger. It is a Transit Connect, I believe this one is, but passenger van, I guess you can say. And I've already changed wheel speed sensor. It's a T25. It pulls out, you push it back in, connect the connector. So I wasn't going to do a video on that. It had been all of friggin', I don't know, 2 minutes maybe, and no sense in making a video on that, but I will show y'all how to do this. So I have to remove the steering wheel, the airbag, clock spring, and then I can get to the steering position sensor on this. So I'm going to show y'all how to pull the steering wheel off on this right here and change the position sensor. I'll show you the part we got real quick. So here is the part. This is what it looks like, just like that. All that good stuff. We got it from Advance, not a sponsor, but that's who we got it from. And I happened to open it upside down. SBE 3848. I was for sure this was going to be a freaking factory part only, but it wasn't. So that is for it. So what you're going to need for this is, I think it's a 24. And then you'll need a flathead, and then probably another little screwdriver or something to pop some of this stuff out, and then probably even a Phillips head if I was thinking to take some of the little screws and stuff off. But as it shows right here, you got that, you got a couple connectors, and then you got to take the clock spring off from around the sensor, and then you can remove the steering wheel sensor itself. But let me get inside and bring some tools over, and then I'll bring you right back. First thing we did was disconnected the battery. Here's the cable, and depending on your model Transit, it can either be under the driver's seat or in the engine compartment. This one is in the engine compartment right behind the airbox, and got like this little cover right here over it, and 10 millimeters. Just get the loosen nut right here on the top, and there we go. Let's get back in, y'all. Now, what you're going to have to do is key in and turn the steering wheel or straight up and down. And what you want to do is, on the back, you can't see it, but there's a little notch right here. You get a flat blade screwdriver, and you'll have to push down, like push down a little bit, like when you get it in there, and then it'll pop one side of the airbag out. Then you're gonna have to rotate the steering wheel and do the exact same thing on the other side. So let me get in there and pop it out, and once it's out, I can get in there and kind of show you what the little tabs and stuff look like and what you're kind of pressing against. So here it is. I'm pulling the airbag out, and I know I'm moving y'all all around. I'm gonna have little connectors right here. Just pull these off right there, these two little plastic ones, and then you're gonna have, let me get y'all a better angle. Then you're gonna have these two right here, the little orange tabs. You get something underneath there and prime up, and they will come right out. I do have a pick right there. Once you get those up, they normally come out pretty easy, but this one isn't wanting to. There's one. And two. Now you can get a better view. And like I said, those right there, they just pull. Ugh, God, it's blurry. And those right there, they just pull right out. So what you're pressing on are these little tabs right here, and you can kind of see how they move. And what they're attached to are these little hook arms right here and right there. I am going to straighten my steering wheel back up, and there we go. Now all I got to do is I just got to disconnect this connector right here. Alright, and now I think all I have to do is just take this 24mm nut out, and then once you do that, you can actually pull the steering wheel off. You don't need any kind of pull or anything with this one. It does slide right off. But I'm going to break this nut loose real quick. Let me grab my tools and I'll show me breaking it loose. Normally they're not too tight. So a little tip for everybody: when you take your airbag off, set it like this. Do not put it face down, because if this thing is to ever blow up for some crazy reason and you're in here with it, or even if you're not, it's going to do a lot of damage, or a lot more than it normally would. But if it's this way, it minimizes the risk of you getting hurt. But let's go ahead and get this. Got 24mm. I got a deep one. Like I said, you can do this with manual tools. They're not tight at all. And you can see it's a hexagon shape right there. Or yeah, it's a hexagon. Okay, I had to count the sides. But I'm still going to get a paint marker and mark it so we can put it back in the right location, because we do not want this to get out of sync and then the steering wheel be askew. So let me get a paint marker, put on here before I pull it off. Couldn't find my paint pen, so I just used a black magic marker. And as you pull this through, just be careful. Do not rip those wires off. That's your steering wheel. And now what we're going to do, pull this right here off, because we got to get behind it. And I think it's just little pop clips. I don't think there's any screws in this one. There's one on the bottom, on the top there's not any. So on the bottom, the hole right there, and I think that's the only one. So we're going to pull that right there out. I don't know what kind of screw it is right now, but I'll let you know in a minute. But should be able to pop these out, and the top will probably come loose. There we go. There's the top. And you can kind of see how it just folds back, and you can just kind of push it up. Now, let me find out what size this is down here. Maybe a Phillips head, could be a Torx, who knows. Let me find out what it is real quick. Got it off, and there was actually 2 Torx bits underneath there. I'll show it to you now. Here it is. That's the one on the top. One on the bottom is up inside there. And one's a T25 and one's a T20. I don't know why they put 2 different ones, but who knows. Now, what you're going to have to do after this is you're going to have to take this arm right here off. That's your headlights, and then your wipers on the other side. And the way you're going to do this is there's 2 Torx bits right here, super tiny, right there, right up there, and same way on this side, right there and right up there. And I'll be honest, do not know what size they are. We found it. They are a T8. And yeah, I probably about to get them out with my fingers. Yeah. So you can see I'm just kind of screwing them out by hand. Do not lose these. These are super tiny. What I'm going to do is set them in the cup holder so I don't lose them. And then you're just going to do both sides, and then I'll show you what it looks like once you pull them out. Come on. Okay. I think there's only 2. Let me double check on here. Yeah, I think it's just 2. And then, and then you got these little squeeze tabs. I forgot about that. And they come right off. Forget all about the little squeeze tabs. So I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Screw on top, screw on bottom. Then you got your squeeze tabs. Just like that. So let me yank that one off real quick. Get that one off now. I'm going to disconnect that. And then you're just going to have some little pop clips. Just going to pull up on these to get this clock spring out. And when you pull this clock spring out, try not to move it too much because you want it to go back on exactly which way it came. And then when you go to put it on, you won't have it all skew and possibly break it. So just try to keep it where it's at now. If you have to move it just a little bit, but just make sure you put it back where it was. Now you got a better view of what it looks like, and I'll show you where all the little pop clip things are for your clock spring. You got 1, 2 on the top, 1 right here, 1 right here on the bottom, and then over here on the side you got 1 that's right in there. So the hardest one in my opinion is that side one, just getting something in there, because you don't want to press on too much stuff in here and even break the thing. But now we're going to pull. Come on. We got to pull this Christmas tree fitting out. I ain't got my Christmas tree, my pop clip tool. Let me grab a pop clip tool and I'll pull this out. And then all we got to do is pull this off, and that should be everything. And I think it only is held in with 2 Torx bits. I think it's just that one on the bottom, and then there's one up inside there. And those look like they're probably T27s or T30s. Got the little Christmas tree fitting off. There's a T27 here, T27 there, and then on top there are actually 2 more. And if you look right here, those 2 are T25s, and you got the little tab right here that you pull, and it should just slide right off. So let me get these out, and then I'll show you putting it on and all this other good stuff, and I'll show you putting it all back together and everything, just to make sure we get it all back in there, because I'll show you how we put these right here in. So I forgot all about this sensor on the back. There, just gonna pull it if I can. May have to do it. Oh, there it goes. So, and then that's it. Comes out. I just got to pick underneath that little tab and pull it straight. And I don't see if there's anything. It looks kind of burnt out on it, because it had a steering position sensor code, and I checked it and it just wasn't reading this position on the steering wheel, so I guess it just went out. But now I'm going to put her back on, put the gray connector back in right there first, and then slide it down and just start tightening everything up. I do not know what torque specs are. If anything, it's probably really light inch-pounds. I'd say, probably around 4 foot-pounds is probably what the max is on this. It's probably like 48 inch-pounds. So don't go crazy on it. I'm just going to hand tighten these just because it is holding plastic in. So like I said, don't go crazy on the torque specs. Hear the geese outside. Got the left one on. We're going to go ahead and do the right one. They got like little slots that it slides up in, and push it till you hear it click. Then I'm just going to start them by hand first. And then after that, you can go with the ratchet and just kind of put it in like that. And then the top one is typically the harder one. Come on, get in there. And Again, don't go crazy with the torque on them. It's just going into plastic and it's just holding plastic in. So you don't have to go crazy with it or anything. Alright, now I just got to put the steering wheel back on, and I'm going to cinch this down, put the airbag back in, and then I got to hook up the battery. But let me put the steering wheel back on, tighten it down and everything, and then we'll see if the code is still in the system after we drive it for a second. Alright, we got her back together. She's running, and that is everything. I'm going to probably take it for a test drive and stuff just to make sure that it's reading right and all that stuff. Like I said, it's got 119,959 miles on it, but I know the code's going to be off of it just because we disconnected the battery, and more than likely you'll have to reset all your stations and all that stuff, but you need to do it to take this airbag out. Also, on this airbag, I know they can be a little hard to put in. Turn them to the side, clip one in, and then just push on the opposite side, and it'll go in a whole lot easier if you do it that way. I didn't think to show it, but it just popped up in my head. But I figured I'd at least let y'all know here before I close out the video. But if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns on this, let me know. I'll get to them as soon as possible. Also, anything you got about any other car, I'll try to help you out. Hit me up on Instagram, that's a little bit quicker. And as always, thank y'all for all your support and stuff like that. Contest is still going on for the giveaway with the video. It will be in the description. As always, just guess I'll leave it up until we have at least 3 comments on it. But like I said, anything you got, let me know. And y'all remember, torque this tight. Y'all have a great day.